Look at the following to see how low can a Muslim go.
Muslims were always oppressed. Nimrod of Babylon oppressed the Muslims.
Islam did not exist in the time of Nimrod. Time period of Nimrod was 2200 BC, before Christ. According to Surah 6:14, Muhammad was the first Muslim, and Islam did not start till 600 somewhat years after Christ. So it just boggles the mind how you could just twist the scriptures and say Muslims were always oppressed. Look at the following to see how low can a Muslim go.
So Jesus is a Middle Eastern man with a long beard whose mother wears the head covering, and he prays by bowing his face to God. Sounds a lot like a Muslim to me.
Christ, and Muslims follow Christ more than modern-day Christians. Jesus prayed bowing his head down to the ground, and Muslims pray like this. Jesus.
Now, is the position you kneel or pray to, is that makes you a Christian? Because Hindus also pray with their heads bowing down. There are different forms of prayer in different positions, and Jesus also used these positions. In Matthew 14, verse 19, Jesus prayed looking up. And looking up to heaven, he blessed and broke the loaves of bread. In Luke 24:50, Jesus prayed while ascending up to heaven, lifting up his hands. In Luke 23:46, Jesus prayed while being on the cross with his hands lifted up and standing up. Jesus recommended the prayer of the tax collector, who was standing up while he was praying.
Why did he then reveal the Mosaic law to Moses, just to then later abolish?
According to this Muslim, he says that Jesus commanded something at one point of time to Moses, then he told at another point of time to break it. That means Jesus is not God. Well, your own Quran does the same thing. Let's quote from their Quran. In Surah 2, verses 106, it says, if we ever abrogate a verse or cause it to be forgotten, we replace it with a better or similar one. Do you not know that God is most capable of everything? In Surah 16, 101, it says the same thing when we replace a verse with another verse. Example of this is in Leviticus, it says don't eat camel, and yet for a Muslim, they can eat camel.
To turn black, to them it will be said, did you disbelieve after your belief?
Was Muhammad a racist? Muhammad said a black dog is a devil and can hinder your prayers. Muhammad said that the one that was destroyed, the Kaaba, will be a black man. You can see the reference in front of it. Muhammad said those that will be condemned will be black. Muhammad said, you want to look at Satan? Look at this black man. That sounded pretty racist. Muhammad called blacks raisins heads. Muhammad sold 2 black slaves for a white slave. Muhammad had black slaves. And Muhammad was white. So does that make Muhammad a racist? I think so. He does sound like a racist.
Not called Israel. Do you know what it was called? Always, even in biblical terms. You know what it was called? Palestine.
Try to look the word Palestine in the Bible. You will not find it. You will find Philistia, but not Palestine. No, it's Philistia, not Palestine. You will also find the word Philistine, but not Palestine. Why did the Muslim said you'll find Palestine? Because he's a liar and a deceiver. Jesus said in Matthew 24, verse 4, take heed that no one deceives you. And in the last days, there will be lots of deception. So read your Bible. Know what you're reading. Because there are lots of deceivers. And check the Bible with what everybody's saying.